Dear students, today we are going to discuss about the tongue. Let's see what are the properties of tongue. Tongue is a muscular organ situated in the mouth or oral cavity proper. Okay, it is made up of muscles. So it's a muscular organ located in the oral cavity. It is having tip, body, and root. It is having three parts: tip, body, and root. Let's see, this is what the tip. Then this area, this is what the body, and this connecting part, that is what the root. So tip, body, and root. Tip, which lies behind the upper incisor teeth. See, tip of the tongue, which lies behind the upper incisor teeth. Then root, which connects the tongue to adjacent bones. See here, I told you here comes the root. This root which connects the tongue to adjacent bones like hyoid, mandible, styloid process. See, this is what the styloid process. Okay, then hyoid, mandible is also there. Okay, so root which connects the tongue to adjacent bones. Tip which lies behind the upper incisor teeth. See, this one is the lower incisor teeth. This is the section of the mandible. So lower incisor teeth. Here comes the upper incisor teeth. So tip lies behind the upper incisor teeth. Root which connects the tongue to adjacent bones. So root and tip, those 2 points are clear. Now body. Body, it is having two surfaces, one dorsal surface and one inferior or ventral surface. We see that. See this area, this is what the dorsal surface or the superior surface. Then here, this one is a inferior surface. See, this one is a dorsal surface and this one is a inferior or the ventral surface. Now here we can see the dorsal surface properly. This is what the dorsal surface. Now what are the features of this dorsal surface? This dorsal surface, which is divided into oral part and pharyngeal part by one V-shaped sulcus known as the sulcus terminalis. We'll see that. See here we can see a V-shaped sulcus. One small groove. Sulcus means groove. Okay. See this sulcus, V-shaped sulcus, it is known as sulcus terminalis. Anterior to that, this area, it is the oral part. Posterior to this V-shaped sulcus, it is known as the pharyngeal part. So oral part or anterior 2/3, posterior 1/3 or pharyngeal part. So tongue is or dorsal surface is divided into two parts by the V-shaped sulcus known as the sulcus terminalis. What are the two parts? Oral part or anterior 2/3, pharyngeal part or posterior 1/3. Now we'll say one more point. See, two limbs of the V meet at a foramen known as the foramen cecum. See here, this is what one limb, this one is another limb or another half of this sulcus. Towards the center, there we can see a depression. Actually, this is what a depression. Okay, that foramen or that the depression is known as foramen cecum. Okay, that's what two limbs of the V. Okay, clear now. See, this one is one limb. This is what another limb. So two limbs meet at this foramen known as the foramen cecum. That is what it is actually. It is a remnant of thyroglossal duct. Okay, so oral part, inferior surface, which is seen in the oral part, which is seen only in the oral part. See this diagram. See here in this diagram, this is what the oral part, and here comes a pharyngeal part in the posterior part. Here comes a pharyngeal part. This inferior surface is seen only in the oral part. That point is clear now. It is seen only in the oral part. Now we are going to discuss about the oral part or anterior 2/3. This anterior 2/3, which is rough. Okay, first I told you dorsal surface is having two parts, anterior 2/3 and posterior 1/3. Now we are going to see the details of this anterior 2/3. Later we are going to discuss about the posterior 1/3. So first of all, anterior 2/3. What are the properties? This anterior 2/3, which is rough because of some projections. See, anterior 2/3 of the tongue, it is rough because of some projections are known as papillae. Now, what is meant by papillae? What are the different types of papillae? See, papillae are the projections of mucous membranes. Okay, it is the projection of mucous membrane. Mucous membrane means the outermost thin layer of the tongue. So that thin layer, it is known as the mucous membrane. That mucous membrane, see, this is what the section of the tongue, and this layer, this is what the mucous membrane. This is what the core of the tongue. Core, it is made up of muscles. I told you, the tongue, it's a muscular organ, means it is made up of muscles. This muscle core, it is covered with a mucous membrane. That mucous membrane shows some projections like this. Those projections are known as papillae. So what is meant by papillae? The point is clear. Those are the projections of mucous membrane. Basically, 4 types of papillae are there. First one, circumvallate papillae, circumvallate or vallate papillae. Okay, those are cylindrical shaped papillae seen immediately in front of the sulcus terminalis. Say almost cylindrical shaped papillae or barrel shaped papillae. Okay, where it is seen just in front of the sulcus terminalis. See, this is what the sulcus terminalis. Just in front of the sulcus terminalis here in this area. How many? 8 to 12 numbers are there. Okay, so 8 to 12. See, some papillae are clear in this image. Okay, so anyway, those papillae. Okay, those cylindrical shaped papillae, which is seen just in front of the sulcus terminalis, are known as what? Circumvallate papillae. So first point about the circumvallate papillae, those are barrel shaped or cylindrical papillae seen just in front of the sulcus terminalis. 8 to 12 numbers are there. Then here in this case of circumvallate papillae, taste buds are the oval shaped masses. Okay, taste buds are oval shaped masses with 3 types of cells. Okay, details you have to read. Okay, anyway, this oval shaped masses are known as taste bud. See, this is what one taste bud, another taste bud. So here in the case of circumvallate papillae, these taste buds are seen on the side walls, not on the upper surface. Okay, see here, it's seen only in the side walls. Okay, and it is surrounded by a gap. It is this papillae which is surrounded by a gap. Now, second type of papillae, fungiform papillae or fungus shaped. That's why it's known as fungiform papillae. Fungus shape means mushroom shape. Okay, see this one, mushroom shape with one head and a narrow pedicle. This narrow connecting part, it is the pedicle, and this one is a head. Okay, so it is having 2 parts. It is having one rounded head and a narrow pedicle. Here in the case of this papillae, taste buds are seen on the upper surface, not on the side walls, just opposite to the circumvallate. Taste buds are seen on the upper surface. Then third type, filiform papillae. Okay, filiform or conical shaped papillae. These are the conical shaped or filiform papillae. Its apex, which is covered with the stratified squamous keratinized epithelium. Only in this area we can see the keratinized epithelium. Remaining area of the oral cavity which is lined with the either stratified squamous, non-keratinized or para-keratinized. Here, but here this apex which is covered with the stratified squamous keratinized epithelium. Okay, so 3 papillae are clear. First one, circumvallate papillae, which is cylindrical shaped papillae seen just in front of the sulcus terminalis. 8 to 12 numbers are there. Taste buds are seen on the side walls. Then second type of fungiform papillae, it is having one rounded head and a narrow pedicle. Then taste buds are seen on the upper surface. Then the third type, filiform papillae, which is the apex of this papillae, which is covered with stratified squamous keratinized epithelium. Then last type, foliate papillae. Foliate papillae, those are vertical foldings seen just in front of the palatoglossal arch. Where actually, see, this is the palatoglossal arch. This one, this is the palatoglossal arch of the opposite side. See here, here we can see some lines. Those foldings are known as foliate papillae. Filiform papillae, which is scattered throughout the dorsal surface, which is in here, the dorsal surface. Actually, this filiform papillae which gives the velvety appearance to the tongue. Then fungiform papillae mainly seen towards some margins, even though it isn't scattered here. Okay, so these are some of the details of this papillae. So anterior 2/3. anterior two-third is clear now. I told you the dorsal surface. Dorsal surface is divided into anterior two-third and posterior one-third. Now the anterior two-third, it is clear. It is rough because of the projections of mucous membrane. Those projections are known as papillae. Basically, four types of papillae are there: circumambulate, fungiform, filiform, and foliate. Then posterior one-third. Posterior one-third, while comparing with this anterior two-third, it is smooth, but actually it is rough. See, here we can see some elevations, some rounded elevations are there. These elevations are produced by lingual tonsil. Lingual tonsil means nothing but the aggregation of lymphoid follicles. So posterior one third shows some projections. Those projections are produced by lingual tonsil. So pharyngeal part is also over. So dorsal surface is clear. Now we are going to see the inferior surface. Inferior surface, the midline, there we can see a fold. This fold, which is seen in the inferior surface, it is known as frenulum linguae. What is that? Frenulum linguae. It's a median fold which connects the tongue to the oral or floor of the oral cavity. On either side of the frenulum linguae, see here we can see a dark line, deep lingual veins. Okay, those prominence which is produced by deep lingual vein. If you are moving again laterally, we can see another fold, that one is a plica fimbriata. Approximately here we can see another fold, that one is a plica fimbriata. So frenulum linguae, deep lingual veins, then plica fimbriata. Those 3 points are seen, or those 3 features are seen in the inferior surface. Okay. Now, so dorsal surface and ventral surface are clear. Now, if you are taking the posterior most region of the tongue, see here in this image, you can see the anterior two-third, then posterior one-third. Okay, if you are checking this posterior most area, see this tongue is connected to this epiglottis by some foldings. Okay, those foldings are known as glossoepiglottic fold. See here, from the glossus or from the tongue to the epiglottis, that fold is known as what? Glossoepiglottic fold. Okay, such 3 foldings are there. One is in the midline, median glossoepiglottic fold, then 2 lateral glossoepiglottic fold. Okay, so median glossoepiglottic fold, right and left lateral glossoepiglottic fold. Here now, tongue, posterior most part of the tongue which is connected to the epiglottis by some foldings. One is in the midline, so median glossoepiglottic fold, then 2 lateral glossoepiglottic fold. And here we can see one more point, vallecula. Vallecula means the depression or the fossa which is seen here. See here we can see median. On either side of the median glossoepiglottic fold, there we can see shallow depressions. Those depressions are known as vallecula. So features of this external features of the tongue is clear. Now I told you it is made up of muscles. This tongue, it is made up of muscles. Basically 2 types of muscles are there, intrinsic muscles and extrinsic muscles. What are the intrinsic muscles? Superior longitudinal, inferior longitudinal, transverse and vertical. See, superior longitudinal, inferior longitudinal, transverse and vertical. Then extrinsic muscles, genioglossus, hyoglossus, styloglossus and palatoglossus. We'll see the details of these muscles. Okay, superior longitudinal muscle. See, this is the tongue. Okay, superior longitudinal muscle, which is seen approximately near to the superior surface. See here, like this, longitudinal means a long length. See, from the tip to the posterior end. So there comes the superior longitudinal muscle. When that muscle contracts, it shortens the tongue and make the dorsum concave. Okay, then inferior longitudinal muscle. See here, inferior longitudinal muscle. When that muscle contracts, see, no doubt it shortens the tongue and to make the dorsum convex. Okay, then transverse muscle, it extends from one side to another side, which narrows the tongue. Okay, then vertical muscle, which flattens the tongue. Vertical muscle actually extending from dorsal surface to ventral surface. How? See, from here to here, vertical muscles, it flattens the tongue. Okay, then transverse muscle, how it runs, say from here to here, one side to opposite side. Actually, it is not like that. One median septum is there. We are not going to the details. Actually, from the median septum to the side, like this. Anyway, from one side to opposite side. Okay, so when that muscle contract, it rolls the tongue or narrows the tongue. So those are the intrinsic muscle. Superior longitudinal shortens the tongue and make the dorsum concave. Inferior longitudinal shortens the tongue and make the dorsum convex. Transverse, which rolls the tongue or narrows the tongue. Vertical muscle, which flattens the tongue. Okay, now extrinsic muscles. What are the extrinsic muscles? Styloglossus, hyoglossus, palatoglossus, and genioglossus. We'll see one by one. See, genioglossus, it's a fan-shaped muscle. Genioglossus, it's a fan-shaped muscle extending from superior genial tubercle to the tongue. See, this is the mandible, and here inside the mandible, see here we can see one projection, that one is a genial tubercle. It is not there in this image. See that genial tubercle to this tongue. See these fibers, all these fibers are the fibers of genioglossus. Okay, so anyway, this is genial tubercle to the tongue. That muscle, it is known as what? Genioglossus. So it arises from genial tubercle of the mandible inserted to tip, body, and the root of the tongue. And some fibers extends into the hyoid bone also. See from here, some fibers extends into the hyoid bone. What will be the action of this muscle? See, when this muscle contract, so it pulls the tongue forward. So that action is known as what? Protrusion. So it protrudes the tongue. Okay. Now supply, we'll discuss it later. So origin, insertion, action. Those 3 points are clear now. Origin from genial tubercle, insertion to the tongue, it protrudes the tongue. Then another muscle, styloglossus. Styloglossus arises from the styloid process, which is located here posterior to the tongue. From the styloid process to the tongue, that one is the styloglossus. It arises from anterior surface of the styloid process inserted to the side of the tongue. Okay, what will be the action? See, it retracts the tongue, backward movement of the tongue. When this muscle contract, it pulls upward and backward. Okay, so it retracts the tongue and elevates the tongue also. Then hyoglossus. Hyoglossus, as the name indicates, it arises from this hyoid bone. Say this bone, this is what the hyoid bone. Okay, here we can see some vertical fibers. This is what the hyoglossus. So hyoglossus muscle arises from body of the hyoid. This anterior part of the hyoid bone, it is known as the body. Then this is what the greater horn. Okay, so anyway, it arises from body and the greater corner or greater horn of the hyoid bone. From the body and the greater horn of the hyoid bone. Here we can see the fibers arising from the hyoid bone. Sorry, greater horn. Okay, body fibers from the body, it is not that much clear. Anyway, it arises from body and the greater horn of the hyoid bone. From there it runs upward and inserted to the tongue. So when this muscle contracts, it depresses the tongue. Okay, so origin from greater horn of hyoid bone and the body of the hyoid bone, insertion to the side of the tongue, it depresses the tongue. Then palatoglossus, arising from the palate. Okay, arising from hard palate and palatine aponeurosis. See, palatoglossus. Above the tongue, roof of the tongue is made up of palate. Okay, anterior part is made up of bones. That part of the palate is known as hard palate. Posterior part is made up of muscles. That is known as what? The soft palate. So this muscle, which is arising from hard palate and a soft palate. Okay, palatine aponeurosis means it's a part of soft palate. From the palate, it is inserting to the tongue. That muscle, it is known as palatoglossus. So these are the extrinsic muscles. Okay, now supply. All these muscles are supplied by hypoglossal nerve, except the palatoglossus. Understand? Yes. See, all these muscles, intrinsic and extrinsic muscles, are supplied by hypoglossal nerve, except the palatoglossus. Palatoglossus is supplied by the cranial root of accessory. It is supplied by the cranial root of accessory. 11th cranial nerve. That means it is supplied. All these muscles are supplied by 11th and 12th cranial nerve. Accessory nerve, it is the 11th cranial nerve, and hypoglossal, it is a 12th cranial nerve. Okay, so muscles are clear. Now we are going to discuss about the arterial supply of the tongue. It is supplied by the lingual artery. See, Here we can see the lingual artery. Okay, venous drainage, lingual vein. Then nerve supply of tongue. Okay, now we know the motor supply of the tongue. Motor supply, all muscles are supplied by hypoglossal nerve, except the palatoglossus, which is supplied by cranial root of accessory or cranial accessory nerve. Now sensory supply. Okay, see, I told you this tongue it is having just a minute. See, anterior 2/3 and posterior 1/3. First, we will discuss the nerve supply of the anterior 2/3. Lingual nerve carries the general sensation. General sensation means touch, pain, temperature, and pressure. Those things are carried by lingual nerve. Taste sensation from the anterior 2/3 is by another nerve, chorda tympani nerve. Okay, so anterior 2/3 is clear. See here in the anterior 2/3, I told you circumvallate papillae are there. Even though the circumvallate papillae are seen here in the anterior 2/3, it is supplied by the nerve of the posterior 1/3. Now we have to discuss the nerve of the posterior 1/3. Posterior 1/3, which is supplied by another nerve known as glossopharyngeal nerve. Both general and special. General and special means touch, pain, temperature, and taste. Okay, general means touch, pain, temperature. Then special means taste sensation. Okay, all sensations are by a single nerve, glossopharyngeal nerve. So posterior 1/3 is by glossopharyngeal nerve. So the circumvallate papillae, even though it is located in the anterior 2/3, it is supplied by the glossopharyngeal nerve. Okay, so anterior 2/3, general sensation, lingual nerve, special sensation, chorda tympani nerve. Okay, posterior 1/3, both by glossopharyngeal nerve. Then circumvallate papillae, it is supplied by glossopharyngeal nerve. Even though it is located in the anterior 2/3, it is supplied by the glossopharyngeal nerve. We'll see the details. See, lingual nerve, it is a nerve of general sensation, and the chorda tympani, it is a nerve of taste sensation from anterior 2/3, except the circumvallate papillae. Okay. Then glossopharyngeal nerve, it is a nerve of both general and taste sensation from the posterior 1/3, including the circumvallate papillae. Then posterior most part of the tongue is supplied by vagus nerve. Okay. Then lymphatic drainage. Lymphatic drainage into submental, submandibular, and jugulo-omohyoid lymph nodes into mainly three groups: submental group, submandibular group. From there, it drains into jugulo-omohyoid group. Then the remaining details like applied anatomy, like tongue tie, those are details and you have to read it from your textbook. Not only that, histology also you have to read from your textbook. Okay, thank you.